Welcome to this episode of 10 Minutes with Sam, and this is Akshat Singh. Our guest today is Mr. D Rai. Mr. D Rai is the former Member of Parliament from Sikkim. He has recently been elected as the President for the Integrated Mountain Initiative. Sir is an active politician. He's a political thinker. He's a policy specialist when it comes to environment, ecology, and sustainable development. Welcome to the show, sir. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you very much, Akshat.
Sir, today we'll be talking specifically about the Integrated Mountain Initiative and the concerns of the hill states. So, sir, let's get to the first question. Sir, you were the first Member of Parliament in Lok Sabha who was an alumnus of both IIT and IIM. So, could you tell us a little about your journey into these institutions and then your foray into politics?
Well, I journeyed all the way to Mussoorie to study, and then from Mussoorie I went to IIT Kanpur, and then immediately thereafter I joined the Indian Institute of Management at Ahmedabad, and thereafter to Bank of America. And whilst at Bank of America, then the governor of Sikkim, and Sikkim had gone through a transition from being a kingdom, an independent kingdom, to then being the 22nd state of India. This was in 1975, and I was at the IIT. So the governor in 1978, I think, when I met him, and at that time I was working with Bank of America in Calcutta, and I'd come home for some holidays. And when I called on him, he said, "What the hell are you doing in an American bank? Sikkim needs you. Sikkim needs people like you." And then it struck me, yeah, why not? Then I came back to Sikkim and started work with the government. And I was, doing a few projects for the government. And that's how my work with the government of Sikkim and within Sikkim started. So therefore, journeying from business and then into social, a setup, and then, into politics, because then that is the field in which you can make some really good change. If there is any change you want to make, it has to be through politics. And that's why climate science and the climate change and all the debates that go on throughout the world, it's all about the politics.
Absolutely.
And so we see that playing out even as we talk.
And I mean, I feel that you must be right at home since you have been elected as the president for the Integrated Mountain Initiative. Congratulations on that, sir. It is right the place to be when it comes to the intersection of policy, ecology, and entrepreneurship in a certain sense, sir. So could you tell us a little about the organization, the aims and objectives, the members, what sort of relationship the organization has with the government?
Well, this is a civil society organization, and it was founded in, the conversation about, how we should now establish an organization which becomes the platform. States in India, it's a federal system, so you have states, and states talks to the center. And rarely do states talk to states. And it's very rarely that, a chief minister of one state would actually reach out to the chief minister of another state to solve problems, common thinking, and then make common cause. Now, this is something which we find absolutely missing in the politics. And as I found out in Parliament, that it is very crucial that we actually start looking at the holistically the entire set of issues, and mainly developmental issues of all mountain states. So the Integrated Mountain Initiative was founded by a few of us. Dr. R.S. Tolia was the lead, who took the lead in this. He was the former Chief Secretary of Uttarakhand, former Chief Information Commissioner of Uttarakhand, and a doyen in terms of development thinking, and a mountain lover. He comes from, he died in 2016 December, unfortunately, and we lost him very, very early in this particular trajectory. He was the first president, and it was very, very interesting that this conversation of IMI, its objects, and how do we actually achieve them started with Dr. Tolea, myself, the immediate past president, Mr. Sushil Ramola, then the president before Mr. Ramola, Mr. Alam Temshi Jamir from Nagaland, who's also the chief secretary of Nagaland. We all actually had started this conversation about how we should have an organization, an Indian organization. You have organizations like ICIMOD and others who look at mountain issues, but we needed an Indian organization, an organization which would be a platform for the voices from the ground of all stakeholders across the mountain states. So whether it is Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh, or Himachal, or Uttarakhand, or Sikkim, Arunachal, other northeastern states of India, and the hill districts of Darjeeling and Karbi Anglong and Dima Hasao in Assam, all these states which constitute in some ways the Indian Himalaya. We thought that the people of the mountains need to be heard. Their voices need to be heard, and somehow the conversations across and on the issues that are very, very important to the mountains. And now you can see that it is playing out in the way in which the ecological issues of the mountains are now coming center stage.
The forefront.
So some of the ecosystem services, in terms of provisioning, water, forests, biodiversity, all of that needed to be, constructed. The thoughts around this needed to be constructed in a way in which the people of the rest of the country would also, get what they need to get, and the people of the mountain states would also.
Absolutely, sir. And I mean, IMI has done a terrific job at it. It has done terrific, work in the field of agriculture, in the field of sustainable development. But we see that right now we are at a tipping point when it comes to climate change and its effect on sustainability. So what do you think would be some of the most imminent challenges for the IMI right now?
So we have, thematically, we're looking at some of the most important issues, and there is a global, umbrella which we know as climate change, and therefore, because India is a signatory to the conventions of climate change, and that 2 degrees is something that should be the upper limit in terms of the warming of the atmosphere, but the science tells us that in the mountains, it's going to be more than 2 degrees. We are already facing increases in more than 2 degrees. And therefore, there is glacial melt, which is faster. And in Eastern Himalaya, it's even faster. The receding of the glaciers. Then, you have all the issues of, water security issues. We have major rainfall and disaster-related issues. So, DRR, disaster risk reduction, and resilience. This is one area we're really looking at. And then we can't have unsustainable habitats, urban habitats. The cities in the mountains, they tend to, imitate the cities in the plains, and that is not the way we can do it. So we really need to look at all these issues.
Absolutely, sir. And I'm pretty sure that COVID-19 and the sudden migration of a lot of people who were living in the plains back to the places, coupled with the massive impact on tourism and, other activities would definitely accelerate the process. And I mean, it is a long journey ahead of us, but we need to begin at some place, I believe. And sir, once again, congratulations on your recent appointment as president of the IMI. I'm absolutely certain that the organization will only go from strength to strength from here on. This unfortunately brings us to the end of 10 minutes. So, sir, once again, an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much. And it is with the help of all the people, IMI, that we will be able to make some lasting impact.
I'm absolutely certain, sir. Thank you so much for speaking with us today, sir. We will definitely have you sometime very soon again. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Akshat.